Hello, this is Patrick W. Crawford, Moo-Ack Productions, and this is the whirlwind behind the scenes for the music animated video parody, Destroy You. Throughout this video, at the top you'll have the original storyboard for the production, in the middle a midway previs render, and at the bottom the final result. If you haven't seen the video already, definitely check it out. Otherwise, let's begin. When I first started working this animation, I was concerned with making sure the animation was engaging and original, so I had a Google Doc which Martin and I would comment on for different ideas I came up with. Google Drive in general was a big crux for this project as it allowed us to render across multiple different machines, sort of like the way Dropbox works. It even allowed me to see render progress on my phone, which is a nice convenience. In terms of creating the actual sets, TheKindKitten and Wedge developed the entire sets on a server that I set up for just the few of us. Through different directions I gave in terms of drawings and notes and feedback through signs, they were able to create the exact set that I needed for this animation while I was working on it. Simulations played a big role in this animation. Here you can see part of the setup of one of the explosions. I had the rigid body simulation set up in a separate group which I could then individually move around and toggle the visibility so that there wouldn't be vector blur issues. In addition to that, all the explosions I had separate passes so that I could actually composite them carefully and color grade exactly the way I wanted. One of the big technical challenges of this project was making very stable rigs that had built-in cloth and soft body dynamics. The way I actually approached this was a hybrid of raw simulation as well as actual armature deformations. So here you can see in real time the actual use of the simulation. And here you see what it looks like when I turn off the simulation. These hairs still have controls and bones that I can move around and manipulate, but I can also then turn on the added effect of the cloth simulation to have the extra simulated effect. A nice feature about this is that even after I bake the simulation, I can move around the rig and modify it so that there aren't collisions and such. In addition to that, there are many other ways that I in fact baked simulations that did not need to be so complicated to have such dynamics. For example, I use shape keys to do the dynamics of different soft minor objects such as the hoodie here to make it look like it was moving around and simulated. Similarly with things like the grass and the wheat out in the fields, I used a combination of solidify and displacement modifiers to make it look like they were actually swaying and moving around in the wind. Here you can see a direct use of the MCprep addon to bring in such wind swaying elements like grass, as well as other elements and objects that I built in a library asset file. In addition to the MCprep addon, I also developed a repository of materials to use for this project. One of the big unique things inspired from a previous project I was working on is the use of higher quality materials and textures, where I used the base Minecraft texture as the primary diffuse mapping, but then added more high quality textures for extra details. I also spent a large time at the beginning of this project developing an updated version of my Fancy Feet rig, including more convenient and advanced controls that made it much faster and easier to animate, such as overlapping the use of individual controls to do multiple things in once instead of having separate controls. Here you can see messing around with the face animation. You can also see the continued use of the Fancy Feet rolling and rocking. As you saw there, this is what allows the rig to actually roll and rock on the ground as if it's a real physical Minecraft foot, as opposed to default IK behavior which dips to the floor. You're able to turn these features on and off for both forward and side rolling. I use Blender's library linking system in order to keep updated rigs in all of my animation scenes. While I used the video sequence editor in Blender to combine all the shots in a single scene, I used Premiere to edit all the different scenes together, and that's where I did my compositing, as you can see here with the different layers. I brought in some other elements in order to do extra compositing effects such as the particles, as well as the sunflowers you can see here. I also rendered out in Blender a little flickering effect that I used for transitions at different points. So that was the whirlwind behind the scene. If you're interested in seeing more animations that I've worked on, definitely check that out here. Again, if you haven't seen the original music video parody, do see that. In addition, if you're interested in getting into animation, be sure to check out tools like the MCprep add-on I developed, as well as the Fancy Feet free Minecraft rig. And I definitely want to extend a big thank you to Martin for including me on this project, giving the opportunity to me. It's awesome working with this guy. He's really talented, and then the team that he always pulls together is amazing. Great results always come out. So again, I love working with you and I look forward to the future. And definitely to TheKindKitten and Wedge for helping me out throughout this process and building the sets and communicating and doing changes on a whim. I really appreciate it. So thanks again for everyone. I hope you enjoyed this production and stay tuned for the future. Moo-Ack.